Hot like 100. Hello.
Loading, shoot with the lyrics like I'm bowling. Keep pushing up, keep rolling. Don't wanna listen, but I told him one more time, your favorite.
Good morning, good evening, and good night, people, depending on where you're watching or when you're watching in the world. My name is Joe Blackman, and this is Truth is Truth. Today, the question that we're asking is, did P.Diddy did a lot of people that we think he did? Once again, did P.Diddy did a lot of people that we think he did? Now, you try saying that fast 10 times, I swear. But you know what, yeah? First things first, I don't want to spend too long here talking before we get into the video. So guys, please, before we get into it, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure if you're new, you subscribe. We're really trying to get to the road to 500. I don't even have 500 subscribers yet, people. So if you like the video, please, if you're new, subscribe. And if you're not new, just make sure you smash that like button before we get into it, yeah? So guys, on this series, we've been talking about the people that P. Diddy has diddled or might have diddled. And the person that we're going to be talking about today is Justin Bieber. Jaguar recently did an expose on, well, you know, she's always been getting at P. Diddy anyway. We all know this. And she's always been trying to tell us the truth about what's been going on. This interview, though, that she does with Storm, she does go into some more depth about what she thinks that will happen with Justin Bieber and his situation. So without further ado, people, you know what, let's get into this video right now. Let's go.
Footage of Bieber, Odell Beckham, and Trey Songz.
Yes.
Like, and Trey's like literally sitting there playing Lookout.
Playing Lookout as Justin Bieber goes down on Odell.
And young men have.
You know what though? Seriously, guy. What's that guy's name? Storm, bro. You're doing too much. What's with all that hand movement, bro? Like, you didn't have to do all of that. You really didn't have to do all of that to describe what was going on. We all saw the video, and if you ain't seen the video, he still didn't need to do all that to describe what was going on. Okay.
Justin Bieber goes down on Odell.
And young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bashir Gray.
Y'all, Jaguar Wright just confirmed all our worst fears about Justin Bieber. In a recent interview with Storm Monroe, Jaguar spilled all the tea about how Diddy didn't stop at using Justin for his own pleasure. He allegedly also passed him off to his friends and allowed them to have their way with the poor young Justin. Justin Bieber has also been trending these last few weeks after the raid on Diddy's homes, and many disturbing videos of him have been circulating on the internet. It has led to new conversations surrounding Diddy's weird relationship with Justin. What's worse is that, according to Jaguar, Diddy has done the same thing to many other up-and-coming male artists in the industry, including Meek Mill. Now, Meek Mill went into a frenzy on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, trying to prove he wasn't Diddy's boy toy, but it seems like the rumors were true after all. So, did Diddy really pass Justin around in the industry? And just how many other young men did he do the same thing to?
Hey, young brother, everything's good? That's selling out arenas and everything? It's starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out. Well, I mean,
So, Justin Bieber started trending sometime last year after Cassie's lawsuit dropped because the lawsuit opened the floodgates for many.
You know what's really sad? Just going back a little bit, yeah. Just going back a little bit. Look at how different Justin Bieber looks from when he first came in to now. I feel sorry for the kid, man. This, you know what? It's crazy because I feel like this sick cycle of depravity that is going around in Hollywood, and it's not just in the music industry, obviously. You know, we can see it in the acting world as well, with the likes of Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein and all the things that happened around that. There's so much corruption in Hollywood surrounding, for some reason, sexually dominating artists or performers or whatever you want to call them, for control and for fame and for money. And it's a crazy world to be in, you know. I mean, I don't know about you, but some of us have all had aspirations of being famous. But if fame comes at that cost, are you willing to take it? It's crazy. It's really crazy. And sometimes some of these young boys like Justin Bieber, he gets dragged into it blindly, and gets used. So, you know what? Anyway, let the video continue. We'll go from there.
Many shady things about Diddy to begin coming to light. At the time, it kind of seemed like people were exaggerating just how messed up things must have been for Justin when he was around Diddy. But with everything that's come out now, girl, you gotta admit that there must have been something very creepy going on there. And Jaguar Wright had a lot to say about it in her recent interview with Storm Monroe. In the interview, Jaguar made reference to that disturbing footage of Justin Bieber hanging out with Odell Beckham and Trey Songz, where it looks like Justin is going down on Odell. Now, some fans have tried to play this off as Justin doing some of that Coca-Cola, which, you know, is terrible in itself because these are grown men encouraging a young brother.
Right, pause that right there again. Sorry, people, to keep interrupting the video, but something has to be said about this. Yeah, now I'm gonna, actually, let me go mainstream for this because something has to be said about this situation here. When celebrities are trying to pass off a situation for something else, the reason they would go to something as extreme as say, oh, he must have been doing cocaine, is if it's something else. Why would they go to something as extreme as, oh yeah, they usually try to hide those kinds of, that kind of publicity. They wouldn't want us to say, oh my God, he's doing cocaine. No, artists, actors, celebrities in general try to hide their, if they do drugs or if they do anything else that's kind of, outside of the scope that seems the norm. So for them to be saying, oh, he must have been taking cocaine as the excuse, what's the real reason? What was he really doing for you to be jumping as that as the excuse? Anyway, we shall see. Let's continue, people. Let's change it up, actually. Let's go.
Brother into a drug-fueled lifestyle. But according to Jaguar, that wasn't no Coca-Cola at all. It was Justin doing to Odell exactly what we thought he was doing all along. And you just have to look at Justin's wet mouth at the end of the video to confirm it. And it looks like Justin may not have been doing it willingly because, according to Jaguar, Trey Songz was there as a lookout, so nobody would catch on to what Odell was doing to Justin, and probably to avoid paparazzi.
Pause in more ways than one, yeah? Because that's another thing. That is another thing. Trey Songz. Now, you know what? Always had suspicions about this dude anyway, and maybe because I didn't like him because the more of my children really liked him at one point. Now, there's going to be a lot of sad women around the world right now seeing somebody like that, yeah? Be the lookout for some sort of disgusting behavior that was going on in a nightclub when they look like they're taking advantage of someone that's not even in their right mind. Because if you look in Justin Bieber's eyes, it looks like he doesn't even look like he knows where he is. And these are the suspicions about, what's happening in these parties all the time. What are they actually drinking? There's rumors of it being liquid cocaine that some people are drinking and stuff like that. There's a lot of rumors going around about all of these parties and when they're in the nightclubs and what's actually going on and what's getting past to them. So you know what? Anyway, let's continue. But yeah, Trey Songz, you're up in some charges too, bro. You're next. Anyway.
Getting a recording of the act.
And then I think about that really disturbing footage of Bieber, Odell Beckham, and Trey Songz.
Yes.
And Trey's literally sitting there playing lookout.
Playing lookout as Justin Bieber goes down on Odell.
The boy came up with his mouth wet.
Mouth wet.
What?
Dribbling. Now, what they're going to try to say is, no, Justin Bieber was just doing a line of coke. No, he didn't mess with his nose when he came up.
He doing a line of coke with his mouth.
He wiped his mouth. When you do
his mouth was wet.
You do this when you finish your line.
His
you wipe your mouth when you
wet. The post-nasal drip. That was seminal fluid.
It was Odell there.
It's just a sick situation. Jaguar then went on to talk about how Justin must have started going down this path from the moment he spent those 48 hours with Diddy. Now, that footage of Diddy promising to give Justin Bieber a Lamborghini and a house has caused a lot of controversy because it was taken during their supposed 48-hour staycation. But with everything that's come out about Diddy since then, girl, I can't even watch that video without shuddering at the thought of what Justin must have gone through in the name of Diddy's mentorship. And did y'all know Diddy actually gave Justin that Lamborghini? Yep, he did. Not 2 minutes after he got his driver's license, Justin was spotted cruising around town with a Lambo resembling the one Diddy promised him in that footage. So if Diddy didn't give it to him, well, that's one mighty coincidence. But what y'all need to ask yourselves is, why would Diddy give a random kid a car like that unprovoked? Well, a lot of people speculated that Diddy was just doing what any good sugar daddy would do, giving his boy expensive toys in exchange for getting that sugar. Now, we've seen all the horrible things Diddy allegedly did to Cassie from her lawsuit. We've also seen all the things Lil Rod claimed he did. So if word on the street is anything to go by, then it must have been 10 times worse for Justin because he was so young when it all started. I mean, just take a look at how bright and innocent Justin looked in that video. Now, put that side by side with how Justin looked less than a decade later. Yeah, they messed.
And that's what I'm talking about, man. Look at the dramatic difference. And I'm not saying I liked any of these songs when he was talking about baby, but seriously, look at this kid, man. Look what they done to him. He went from looking like a baby-faced, innocent kid to what is he? Oh, sorry, Justin, but it's not your fault. But you look like a proper drug addict now. That you look homeless. For someone so rich, you look homeless. And you know what? This is the kind of stuff that happens to a lot of these kids in the industry, man. It's not just, like I said, it's not just the music stuff. But it's funny, a lot of them do go into music, you know, like look at all the Disney kids and all the stories there. But anyway, let's continue.
Him up real good. But what's crazy is how people are only just clocking this tea now when the signs were there all along. I mean, look at how scared Justin was while talking to Diddy in this footage. My guy is literally fumbling his words because Diddy put him on the spot. Now, allegedly, the backstory of that footage is that Justin's team had deliberately kept him away from Diddy for a while because they believed Diddy was doing too much and causing Justin's mental and physical health to derail. That explains why things were so awkward between them when Diddy finally hunted him down, ready to pick up their shenanigans where they left off. Then there's this footage of Diddy appearing to pat Justin down to see if Justin was wearing any wires, and I don't know what Diddy whispered in his ear, but Justin ended the meeting with "love you." Another clue people missed is how Justin started getting into alcohol and substances after he started associating with Diddy. During Diddy's 2014 Cyrock party, Justin Bieber was spotted holding a bottle that looked like aqua hydrate, which is supposed to contain a clear liquid, but if you look closely at Justin's hand, the bottle he's holding contains a suspicious yellow liquid that could have been alcohol or really anything else. Years later, Justin talked about how that moment of his life was tough because he was hurting, unhappy, confused, angry, misled, misunderstood, and angry at God. So that tells you he was really going through it, even though it looked like he was having the time of his life at the peak of his career. Of course, y'all know Diddy was not the only cause of Justin Bieber's problems. He entered the industry very young and didn't have much guidance. So despite being young, he has been manipulated and objectified in every way you can think of. Mind you, it was adults doing this. From his fellow artists to interviewers and hosts,
You know what? That last shot was with Usher. And you know what? That's another one that's going to be pulled up on charges too, because that's what I'm talking about when it comes to this sick cycle of depravity that's going on with, you know, P.Diddy, and I can't remember the other guy's name that brought P.Diddy in, but we already covered it on the show that I did before. If you haven't seen it, guys, please go check it out. It was called Surviving P.Diddy when we watched that, and we went through a lot of the victims, but we're going to keep going in with these Diddler victim files and cover each one a little bit closer, I think, because there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be pulled up on charges as we go through these victims, because as that cycle continued, you know, obviously we know that Usher is also rumored to be one of the victims in this case of P. Diddy. And it seems like it continued on with Justin Bieber, served up to P. Diddy as whatever you want to call it. But hopefully it's coming to an end soon. That's my hope. But let's see anyway, guys. Let's continue this video.
Everyone wanted to get a chunk of Sweet JB, whether he was willing to give it up or not. Take Ellen DeGeneres, for example. She literally displayed this incredibly exposing paparazzi shot of Justin on her show and then asked him some weird questions about it.
Bungalow.
Yeah.
And because usually we're all pretty good at spotting paparazzi.
Yeah.
They hide in boats and pretend to be fishermen, and we're like, you're paparazzi. I mean, we're pretty good at it. How did you not see that there was paparazzi there?
Well, I just didn't see them. I think I wasn't really looking out for them either, so.
Was there a boat? When you think back on it now, can you see where they may have been?
Yeah, they're definitely in a boat. Yeah.
And how quickly after that was shot did you realize that happened? Did that go on wire right away?
Yeah, it was pretty much like a couple days. It was like a couple days later, Scooter hit me. He was like, yo, I hate to tell you this, but...
In 2011, when Justin was 16, James Corden interviewed him for the 2011 Brit Awards, and he's just being a total weirdo around him.
Can I say this? Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. What music are you listening to at the moment, Justin?
Barely a year later, Justin was at the 2012 AMAs with Jenny McCarthy. And just look at what she was doing. Mind you, Justin was barely 18 here, and Jenny was 40 years old, and he basically had to pry her off himself. He was so uncomfortable that when he started to give his acceptance speech, he first said, "Wow, I feel so violated right now."
Do you know what, yeah? One thing we have to look at, though, is why do women think that they can do things like that to men? If a man did that to a woman, it'd be a whole different conversation we'd be having right now. Let's face it, people. That's not okay, man or woman. Yeah? Look at that. We all saw the situation that happened at the World Cup, right? With that guy who kissed the female footballer. He doesn't have a career anymore. Why is it all right for women to look how young he is as well? That would have been a whole different conversation. Just flip the roles, flip the genders. If it was a man doing that to a woman or a young woman, oh my God. It would have been a whole Epstein moment, yeah? But anyway, let's continue with the video.
Wow. I feel violated right now. Wow.
In another clip, an interviewer was asking 15-year-old Justin about the talk, and he even had to call them out on it because why are you asking a 15-year-old stranger that type of question?
Okay. So why don't you give me? I feel uncomfortable right now. Oh. Why do you want to know from a 15-year-old boy? That's pretty weird.
And here's Katy Perry just straight up feeling Justin up.
Who apparently wanted to know what a Bieber butt felt like.
Child, Justin Bieber has definitely been through a...
Again, just literally molestation, sexual assault happening in cameras just because it's a woman doing it to man. Oh, it doesn't matter. You know, they just brush it off under the carpet. Anyway.
Lot in the industry, and the fact that he even had the strength to pull through the dark times is nothing short of a miracle. It's crazy that while all this was happening, the people who should have been there to protect to him, aka Usher and Diddy, were doing the exact opposite. Imagine that. Okay, for context, Usher strolled into Justin's life almost as soon as Justin arrived in Atlanta with Scooter Braun. He was just 13 at the time. According to Justin's mother, Patty Mallett, she prayed really hard for Justin to encounter good people in the industry who would treat her son right. When Usher and Scooter Braun came around, she thought they would be the answers to her.
Do you know, this is one thing I really do have to ask of parents. Are you that desperate for your child to be successful that you're just going to let them be carted off by some superstar to God knows where and you don't know what's happening to them? Why are you not by their side? If you got enough money to fly him out there, you got enough money to fly me out there. I'm going to be with my child. Hell no. Nothing is happening to my child. That's one problem that I have with these people. That the parents need to also be brought up on charges. Anyway.
prayer, but she couldn't have known at the time that they would be the opposite. Usher took Justin under his wing as a mentor, even appointing his friend Ryan Good to act as Justin's swagger coach and road manager. According to Patty, that's when she started losing control of her son. Justin was just a young boy coming from a humble background, and all of a sudden, he was one of the most famous people in the world, and he had made more money than anyone in his family had ever touched. Patty said Justin needed someone to ground him amid all that, but unfortunately, she couldn't do it because she didn't have access to him when he went on tours. As much as we like to blame the parents of some child stars for exposing their children to Hollyweird sometimes, they're actually...
I don't care what she's about to say about sometimes we like to blame. Listen, I'm telling you right now, yeah, if you have enough money to fly my son out, you have enough money to fly me out. And if you don't, I'm getting the money myself anyway and I'm coming. My son is not going anywhere unless I'm going. I don't care who his management team is. I am part of that management team. I will be there every time. Yeah, I have to be part of that management team because I need to be where my son is. But anyway, let's continue. Mom's on charges. Don't care.
No match for the vultures and the wolves in the industry. Fast forward a few years, and Usher had already introduced Justin to Diddy, and that would be the beginning of Justin's decline into the deep dark. If word on the street is anything to go by, then Diddy didn't waste any time in making Justin his boy toy under the guise of mentorship, just like he did with Usher. We all heard Diddy say he got legal guardianship of Usher when he was producing his first album. And what did he do in his duty as a so-called legal guardian? Well, he exposed Usher to the adult lifestyle. Usher talked about his experience living with Diddy for the Puffy Flavor camp.
I moved to New York City and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
in the 90s. Do you understand?
According to Gene D.
Usher's mum, charges. That's what I'm talking about. What do you mean? How are you sending your kid away to Flavor Camp? Flavor Camp? What kind of flavor are you sending your kid away to be tasted? Or is he the flavors? We're not doing that. Nope. Charges. 100% charges. Just as Usher's up on charges for sending Justin Bieber to... Your mum's on charges too, Usher, for sending you away to somewhere called Flavor Camp. I bet you're going to taste flavors where... Anyway, let's continue.
Deal, Usher's relationship was much worse than we can ever know. He even suggested that Usher might have gone through the same things Cassie went through with Diddy, and that it got so bad once that Usher landed in the hospital. Gene Deal also talked about how Diddy had an S-cult that he recruited Usher and Justin to. Girl, the things he described were so disturbing. Just check this out.
Puff and Usher did have a situation, and that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bro, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a... You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right.
Gene also pointed out how Usher was probably having a trauma bond with Diddy because of the things Diddy did to him, because Usher had been covering for Diddy. And when you think about it, he's kind of right. Every time Usher has talked about Diddy, he sounds like he's selecting his words carefully, like he doesn't want to accidentally spill something that might get people talking. Let's bring back that Howard Stern interview for a minute. Usher has never actually spoken on the rumors that he was Diddy's boy toy, but court documents from the Lil Rod lawsuit claim he was. In the lawsuit, it said that Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in intercourse with rapper, R&B singer, and Stevie J. The redacted rapper and R&B singer were described in the footnotes as a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj and performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency, respectively. It didn't take long for fans to put two and two together and figure out that Meek Mill was the rapper and Usher was the R&B singer. But apart from the fact that Usher has talked about how wild his experience at Puffy Flavor Camp was, Diddy himself once slipped up and mentioned how he and Usher used to sleep in the same bed when Usher was still a child.
Fresh off a goddamn plane.
I think we remember this bit from the last video, but yeah. Anyway, I don't know what he's talking about, having a however old, when he was 9 years old or whatever, in his bed, or even if he's fighting over the frosted flakes in the kitchen. We fooling around with a 9-year-old kid for fighting over frosted flakes. What are you doing? The diddler was diddling a long time ago, you know, I'm telling you. And you know what, society, we're all to blame too, because the evidence is there. He's been saying some crazy for a long time. Anyway.
God stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like, that's how. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my.
Now, he tried to play it off as them fighting over frosted flakes, and Kevin Hart tried to deflect from it, but we heard what we heard. So it's weird that Usher tries to cover for Diddy, but it's kind of understandable if you know how traumatizing events play on people's psyche. And it looks like Usher is not the only male artist who Diddy has that effect on, because Meek Mill has also been online acting like the fool because he was accused of being Diddy's boy toy. As y'all know, Meek Mill was named in the Lil Rod lawsuit as the rapper who Diddy has allegedly had intercourse with. Jaguar Wright talked about Diddy in her recent interview with Storm Monroe, hinting she's sure he's given that behind up many times for the diddler. She even called Meek an interview with Storm Monroe, hinting she's sure he's given that behind up many times for the diddler. She even called Meek a power bottom.
I knew Meek was power bottom.
Wow.
Well, he already done got the broke in. I just didn't know that that's why he was faking it with Nicki, so that he would have an excuse to be up underneath the diddler.
That all makes sense now, by the way. Do you remember how everybody was saying that that's a fake relationship? It's a fake relationship. We don't know why they even together. It all makes sense now. Do you know what? Once you put the pieces together, everything starts making a lot of sense. I mean, if the glove fits, right? Anyway.
But this is not the first time Jaguar has talked about Meek Mill being passed around in the industry. In an interview with Real Life Productions, she said Meek Mill might have been used by the Smiths when he went to them for mentorship.
They do weird things in their house.
Oh, the Smiths. Charges, 100%. Will, Jada, charges. We're going to be doing videos on them too. Everybody, charges. Everybody that comes up, charges. We're going to keep on getting these videos out, people. I swear to God. Hey, the industry is shady, people. The industry is shady.
And young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bashir Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Is anyone surprised that Will and Jada are close friends with Diddy? I mean, if Meek Mill was Diddy's side piece, he definitely could have borrowed him to the Smiths if they wanted some fresh cheeks to spread. There's also the fact that since the lawsuit started dropping on Diddy, old photos and videos of Meek Mill have resurfaced, and fans have a lot of questions. For example, there's this picture of Meek Mill and Diddy wearing matching PJs like they had a sleepover or something. Then there's this viral footage of Diddy calling Meek Mill daddy, like two grown men calling each other daddy is not weird at all. Even more interesting is this footage of Meek Mill singing in a club, and check out how fast Diddy whips his head around when Meek Mill says some lines. Diddy was up there.
It's not even the fact that he turns around, yeah. It's the fact that he turns around and starts acting like a straight up female. Just dancing for his baby. Yeah. Oh God. It's a weird situation, baby. It's a weird situation.
They're looking like he was having flashbacks or something. Now, Meek Mill has tried very hard to prove he likes women and he's not gay. I mean, he spent 7 days and 7 nights on Twitter trying. Diddy was up there looking like he was having flashbacks or something. Now, Meek Mill has tried very hard to prove he likes women and he's not gay. I mean, he spent 7 days and 7 nights on Twitter trying to convince everyone of how much he liked women. In one tweet, he said, "When I got a girl around me, I'm effing her twice a day, LOL, assle some of your favorites. P don't control me, but it's like a high. One love to the gay people." But
you know when someone's doing way too much? I forgot what the word's called. But yeah, that's overkill. Yeah. You know what, yeah? If somebody says you're gay to me, I'm like, all right, cool, whatever you think, innit? I got my girl. Like, I know what I like to do. Whatever you think is whatever you think, innit? Yeah. Anyway. People get way too obsessed with what other people think of them. If you know what you are, you wouldn't get so upset about it unless it hit a nerve.
that juicy P do it for me. I done ran red lights to get that feeling. Y'all weird on here like devil's LOL. Then he added, y'all see these rappers with gay styles. They want that look. Leave that to them. I come from that gangsta-ish surviving in the jungle. He even blamed the media for trying to bring him down and stop his new release from trending. The two things they say, we snitching or we gay. We generating hundreds of millions from music. It's not a coincidence we all gay and snitches. They are powering this stuff even if it's fake. The goal is to disrupt the hip-hop community. I own this music that dropped tomorrow. Play it. But you the one thing he didn't deny, being Diddy's boy toy. Anyway, sources are now saying Justin might have had the trauma bond with Diddy because even after everything, he still publicly talks about how...
You know one thing as well though, yeah? If Diddy James is not gay, he's got a lot of pictures with his arm around a lot of men, you know? Like, you love to hug that man a lot if you're not gay. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with admitting that you're gay. Just, like, stop hiding it, innit? You like what you like. The only thing wrong with what you're doing is the underage stuff. The grooming stuff that you've been doing for a while. That stuff and the exploitation of these young artists, that's what's wrong. Don't worry about being gay, Diddy. You can come out and say you're gay. It's all the diddling that needs to stop though, bro.
How he loves Diddy. Justin even still had time to work with Diddy even after Diddy, despite the fact that he had practically retired from the music scene. Didn't he sell his entire music catalog for $200 million last year? But somehow he ended up...
And that's what I'm saying. What young art? You could tell that Bieber's been going through. He just wants to get rid of this lifestyle. Who sells the entire music catalog at that age? He's young. He wants out, bro. He just wants out. He wants to stop being used. It's evident. You can see. You can look in Justin Bieber's eyes these days and see that he's empty shell of who he used to be.
Working on Diddy's Love album on a track called Moments. In his post announcing the collaboration, Justin said, I remember going to my brother Diddy's office to pitch him a song I wrote for him when I was like 14. Sadly, the song was trash and it would be a hard no from him. Fast forward to a few years ago, Puff asked if I would freestyle something for his upcoming Love album. Wild full circle moment, love you Diddy. Girl, is that weird or what? You want to know what's even creepier? A video has started circulating online showing Justin at a party with Diddy and The Game giving him drinks. drinks. It's unclear what the drinks were exactly, but there have been speculations that it might have been spiked, especially because Justin was allegedly passed around by Diddy and his friends at that party. Child, I can't even begin to imagine what must have been going through his head at that party. Like Usher, Justin also hasn't said anything about his time with Diddy, but he has done a documentary about what life was like for him all those years, and watching it just breaks your heart. However, a source close to Justin says he's willing to confront his relationship with Diddy if it will help the current investigation. Justin doesn't really want to talk publicly about his relationship with Diddy, but he may have to. I'm not sure if Diddy did anything that Justin now thinks crossed the line, but if he does, he's not saying. If Justin has to address his past interactions with Diddy, he will. Jaguar Wright has been talking about how creepy Diddy is for years, but it seems like everyone is now ready to believe her. Fans have left their comments about this whole thing online, and one of them said, "I'm concerned for Justin B. I hope that he can get through this. He was clearly a victim. He does not appear to be as strong as Cassie." Another person said, "Justin and all the victims need to call out Diddy. Justin, we stand behind you. No judgment. You are a victim. Be strong and stand up against Diddy and lead the others to come forward." But now I want to know what y'all think about Jaguar Wright spilling this tea about Diddy and Justin Bieber. Comment down below. And
well, you know, guys, I kind of stand with one of those last posted comments. You know what? Yeah, Justin, it could end with you, hopefully. You know what? Don't bring anybody else into this circle of depravity, as I'm calling it from now on, yeah? Cycle of depravity, because if you then now serve up someone else for, I don't know, Usher, or start getting into it like that, hopefully you can come forward and tell everybody what really happened to you. You know what I mean? Tell them your real experiences. And you know what? I'm not someone... I'm here believing the stories. It might not be true, innit, yeah? But in my opinion, I bet there's a lot to come out about what's been happening. And I feel like Justin Bieber could be the one to hopefully blow everything open. Pause, no Diddy. But, sorry, I had to. But anyway, guys, look, let me know what you think as well, yeah? Because when it comes down to it, I want to know what you guys think of this story. Was Justin Bieber another victim of the Diddler? Do we have to put this one down as another victim of the Diddler? Put it in the victim files? Because the way I see it, it seems like a case closed, that kind of situation. Hopefully Justin Bieber can help everybody else as well come forward, because that's one of the things that I think will be pivotal to these kind of investigations. People that are willing to actually step forward and say something. People of high profile like Justin Bieber, maybe even Usher, once it all comes to a head. You know, when the dominoes start tumbling, maybe everybody will start talking, because, you know, everybody's going to be trying to avoid that jail time. So let's see where we head out. Let's see where the story heads, people. And please don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new, please subscribe, and also share this video to as much people as you can, so that we can help grow the channel, people. So thank you again, and I'll catch you on the next one, people. Peace.
Hot like 100. Hello. Loading, shit with the lyrics like I'm bowling. Pushing up, keep rolling.